Brought to you by Lister Pros TV, streaming from Tempe, Arizona. And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, everyone. Facebook and iTunes and other platforms that this goes out to, I don't know. Welcome to this segment of Real Estate Pros on Lister Pros TV. And today we have a very special guest, Koena Tapscott of Coldwell Banker in Biltmore, correct?
Yes.
And you are the branch manager at that Coldwell Banker. And for those that don't know who Koena is, we'll give her a few minutes to introduce herself, how long she's been in real estate, what her background is, and we'll start there. So, Koena, the mic is yours.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
I got into real estate in 2003. Actually, accounting and finance is my background, and had been doing a bunch of 1031 exchanges, my husband and I, and on one of the last deals that we did, I thought, I should get my real estate license. After sitting through the CPA exam several times. So, which
one was harder, real estate license or CPA exam?
That's CPA exam. But actually, I got my license in 2003. I was with Coldwell Banker Commercial, and after a year, had received my CCIM designation. That's the highest.
What's CCIM?
It's Certified Commercial Investment Member.
Oh, okay.
It's the highest designation you can get in commercial
real estate. I know, there are so many designations in real estate, like behind people's names. I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but okay.
And
so
CCIM, we were living in Lake Havasu City, and was a top producing agent for Coldwell Banker Commercial.
Awesome.
Top producer for the state. And about 6 years ago, my husband and I moved down to Corpus Christi. He's a big kite surfer, so
Texas.
When the economy took a big bust, we moved down there. And as much as he loved it, I didn't, and wanted back in Arizona.
So is there a lot of kite surfing in Corpus Christi then?
Yes.
Like
yes.
a lot? Oh,
yes,
cool.
We were right on the coast.
Awesome.
And so we've been back for 3 years. And when moving back, I met Judy Perrin-Crone. She was the manager for the Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage Biltmore office. And there was something about that day when I went into the Biltmore office. I fell in love with that office, and ended up moving my license from our Lake Havasu City office to the Biltmore office. I was going to be doing all the commercial activity for Coldwell Banker there on a referral basis. And after about 3 days, we decided that maybe I might just manage that office. And so one thing led to another, and went through all the hoops with that. And so almost 2 years ago, started managing the Biltmore office. So it's been very interesting going from the commercial side, that world of real estate, to the residential side of real estate.
Yeah. So you started, so we'll go back a little bit. So you started in real estate in 2003 as a commercial agent, and then you went to Texas, then you transitioned back to Coldwell Banker here locally as a branch manager of the residential segment of the Biltmore office. But let's talk a little bit about your commercial background. From what you've seen and been in the business so far, so you were a top producer commercial in all of this state. What I was going to say is, so you were based in Lake Havasu City, but from a commercial standpoint, it's commercial probably doesn't move like residential real estate where you can kind of focus geographically on a smaller location. Did you have to kind of service all of Arizona?
Actually,
or what kind of strategies are around commercial real estate agents to be successful?
Actually, I was what was called a generalist. So because I was in Lake Havasu City, I wore a lot of hats. I did sales, leasing, office, industrial, just all land, all types of retail, all types of commercial. When you get into a larger city like Phoenix, you specialize more, whether that's office, retail, industrial, whether you focus a lot on leasing. Leasing in itself is just a whole another beast.
Sure, yeah.
And, I've probably done a couple hundred leases. Actually, when I was down in Corpus Christi, I was the sole leasing agent for 2 of the largest Class A buildings in downtown Corpus.
Oh, wow.
And one of them was about 385,000 square feet.
Jeez.
The other one was almost 400,000 square feet. And it was a great experience. But commercial, it is a lot different. The zonings, just the documents that you use. All of our stuff, we didn't use zip forms like the residential agents do. So.
Okay, so it's a lot different. So now, as a branch manager of Coldwell Banker, what are some of the key differences between commercial and residential?
Well,
that you've seen, because you've been on kind of both sides of the business.
One of the biggest differences is just the MLS within itself is a natural contract between 2 agents that the listing agent will co-broke what they say that they're going to co-broke on the MLS on a deal. And so
the agent doesn't have to. They know, like, you can look at a listing and you see what the commission is paying, and you know exactly.
They don't have to negotiate that, right?
So,
right. In commercial, most commercial deals are not listed on the MLS. Commercial uses primarily LoopNet and CoStar, and the listing agent does not list if and what they're going to co-broke. So for me...
So is it all negotiable?
Yes,
you have to go in there and say, hey, this is...
Yes, for me, it was literally, good morning, this is Koena Tapscott. I'm with Coldwell Banker. I'm a CCIM. I have a client that's interested in your 123 Main Street. Are you willing to co-broke? And then if they are, what are you willing to co-broke? How much? And so I had to negotiate that on every one of my transactions.
Oh, wow.
For myself, which of course has to be completely separate outside of any negotiations for the clients, but so it's a lot different world.
So have you been into some of those conversations where it's kind of like, no, I don't want to co-broke? So then,
well,
you're kind of in a weird position, because you have a client that's interested, but they don't want to pay you anything. It's
I was
weird.
in a very I was always in a good position because being a CCIM, and especially a female in a primarily male-driven commercial world, having my CCM was crucial. And so right away, that's the reason why I needed to get up front in a conversation that I had my CCIM, just to establish that credibility that I could more than do my side of the transaction.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that makes sense. So as a generalist, in the commercial, that probably helped a lot because you weren't so, just leasing or just sales or just whatever. You did pretty much everything.
Whenever I first got into commercial, I thought that it would just be a lot of buying and selling, but the reality is your bread and butter is leasing. And then when you find those deals to sell or to buy, that's the icing on the cake.
And that's kind of opposite residential real estate because, a lot of people don't like to do rentals, or they do it for the future because those are only like $150 to $300. But on the leasing on the commercial side, they pay a percentage, right, of the lease, or
of the gross
is that
rents.
Is that how
of
it
the
is?
Gross
rents.
Right.
Awesome.
Right. When I was getting more into my career in real estate, it was kind of funny. I always had a little joke with my husband. I said, the next time somebody asks me what I do for a living, I'm going to tell them I'm into manufacturing. So that they would just look at me thinking, well, I wonder what she manufactures. And it was because I manufactured deals. I would try to find that buyer and seller of a need that they had before it ever hit the MLS. Or if I found something, what's out there that I know about that may not be on the MLS. And it's those relationships that you build to, learn about the different properties and the needs out there. So I kind of felt like that when it got to a certain point that I just felt like I was into manufacturing.
Yeah, right. So you pretty much had it seems like it's a lot more work on the commercial side than it's all kind of laid out, set in stone. You have your I mean, I'm sure there's probably standard contracts and stuff like that on the commercial side, or
Well,
is that up in the air as well?
That's the big difference. With commercial, you're dealing with attorneys that have attorney-drafted documents. You never know when you're going to be given a 60-page lease document that's going to take you 8 hours to read. Whereas with residential, what I find to be so refreshing is we have this amazing 10-page real estate purchase contract that it's a great document. It's just recently been revised. Our designated broker, Martha Apple, for Coldwell Banker, I think she walks on water. I really do. And she chaired the committee that did all those revisions. And so it's great to have one document that everybody's using, addendums, different clauses that are available for the agents. So that's a really refreshing side.
It makes it a lot easier to go through because you know what you're looking for.
Right.
You know, when you're presenting offers, it's not like you receive 10 offers over the weekend and some are 5, some are 20 pages. You know, and you got to go through all of them.
And once you know that document, you know the things that are in it, you know the wording in it, whereas in some commercial document, all it takes is one word, not, or one word is included.
Right.
Something like that can completely change your
pay
negotiations. Attention. Right. And you have to read all that word by word.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about kind of the, I guess the topic of our show today, which is helping agents reach their fullest potential. And obviously, as a branch manager at Coldwell Banker, you kind of play a role in that. So how does that how do you do that as a branch manager?
Well, going from being in sales myself, where I was focused on trying to do everything that I could do to promote myself, being on the management side, I absolutely love. First off, I pride myself in the fact that I'm a non-competing broker. I manage the largest Coldwell Banker office in the state. I have about 150 agents. We're the top producing office, and that's in sales volume as well as units and gross commission income. We've had the 8 consecutive years for all 3 of those.
Oh, yes. Wow.
So, but I pride myself in not doing any transactions myself, being a non-competing broker. Of course, I have my broker license, but I don't do any transactions. And that's so that I can fully support all of my agents as well as, my staff and the support that my staff has. But it's being able to bring the best out of each one of my agents for them to help them succeed is what I enjoy doing.
Sure. And what does that look like? Because, there's a lot of different agents out there. There's some in different phases of their career. Some may be wanting to set up for retirement. Some may just be brand new getting into the business. Some may have switched from another brokerage and they want to kind of fine-tune their business around the Coldwell Banker culture. So how does that look with you guys? Do you guys provide training and stuff like that to kind of help get people up to speed on those different avenues?
Yes, we are known as, in our industry, in the real estate industry, as having the best education for real estate associates. When agents get their license, they learn how to pass a test, essentially. But the education that we give at Coldwell Banker really teaches them how to get out and make a living doing real estate. We, train them on the contract, on different tools and resources that we have. So even when I bring in an experienced agent from another company into our office, we can onboard them in a way that we can train them on the products that we have, the resources, the programs that we have, and actually, teach them how to use those products and to be successful. So that's for an experienced agent, as well as a brand new agent with the different tools that we have.
Sure. So it sounds like you guys have a good learning platform over at Coldwell Banker. what do you guys specifically, because real estate is not easy. There's a lot of people that make it seem like it's really easy to do, and I think a lot of people jump in and they're kind of shocked that it's not exactly what they had envisioned, like easy money. So what do you guys recommend that new agents do to drive their business when they're fresh out of real estate school?
Well, I think the easiest way to get into the market, to find those first clients, is doing open houses.
Mm-hmm.
And within our office, we have a weekly sales meeting that we talk about our open houses. What's working, what's not, who has open houses, who's looking to set open houses. We also have an internal, a private Facebook group within our office that we can let each other know. I have 123 Main Street available this Saturday and Sunday. Is anyone interested in setting it? And on the flip side, if somebody's looking to set an open house, they can do that. But it's being seen in the office where the other agents get to know you. And our office, it is very welcoming, very welcoming. And where real estate can be thought of as a cutthroat business, so not like that in our office. Agents are willing to just bend over backwards to help each other out and to share best practices. We have that all the time.
Yeah, it seems like sometimes there's people that are guarded around. They think they have the secrets or whatever to driving business, and they maybe will share like the generalized things. Oh, you need to reach out to your sphere of influence, but they won't get down into the specifics on how you actually do something and be successful.
We do weekly sales, we do our weekly sales meetings, but we also have marketing training sessions every week. And we'll bring some of our successful agents in and let them share some of their best practices and how they're doing this or that lets the other agents know, wow, this is what's working for them, and it just helps give ideas.
So obviously all agents don't produce at the same level. What do you think separates those top producing agents from the ones that don't produce enough? Is it the amount of work they put into it? Is it skill? Is it talent? Is it a combination of everything? What do you see as far as trends as,
Something that I've just been
difference?
A part of just since the end of May is I've had a brand new sales associate come into my office that she did bookkeeping type work. And so her being a real estate agent, this is brand new for her.
Sure.
And, here we are a little halfway into August. She has already done 5 transactions.
Oh, wow.
And it's because she's been working with one of our mentors in the office to where that she's being held accountable. They get together and she's, told what she needs to get done that day, and she does it. And so I think it's that being held accountable, that I have to get this done today, and knowing that if you get this done, things are going to work, and it does. The agents that sit around and just think something's going to fall in their lap or their phone's just going to ring off the hook for no reason, it's not going to happen. But it's what you're putting into your day and your efforts. I feel like activity times being efficient with it is what makes things effective. So it's not just being busy, but it's working smart as well.
So working smart and doing the right activities will help drive your success. Obviously, that example that you shared, the bookkeeper doesn't really do too many sales, and to already have 5 transactions in that short period of time is pretty impressive. And it obviously does take work as a brand new agent. We all hear the stories of agents that have been in the business 6 months to a year and haven't done a deal, or the only deal they have done is for their parents or something like that,
Right.
But awesome. So it's just good to get out there. Anyways, so Koena, if somebody out there is watching, maybe they're frustrated with their current brokerage or interested in learning more about Coldwell Banker, how would they go about getting a hold of you if they're in that? So I guess here's another question. So to be a part of the Coldwell Banker Biltmore area, do most of the agents live in that area?
No, that's not really.
They're not. It's not geographic,
correct,
like per
right.
office, because Coldwell Banker is huge, and there's a ton of offices.
We have about 26 offices all over the state, and about 1,600 sales associates. But agents in my office, I have some of them that are doing deals in Tolleson, in Apache Junction, all over the valley. Of course, we do concentrate on the Biltmore, Paradise Valley area.
Sure.
We attend and are very involved with a lot of the local tours in that area, the Luxury Home Tour, the North 32nd Street Tour, the Arcadia Tour, the Scottsdale Tour, the Moon Valley Tour, the North Central Phoenix Tour. So we are very involved in those specific areas, but we do business all over the valley.
Okay,
Yeah.
but geographically speaking, do most agents live relatively close to the office?
Pretty close. I would say anywhere from a 15 to 20-minute drive.
Oh, I gotcha. Just so they can show up to the meetings and stuff like that.
Right, you know, and we are so centrally located, being just right off the 51 on Lincoln. You know, we're right at the corner of 32nd Street and Lincoln. So it's so easy to get on the 51. It's so easy to get into downtown, into Tempe, North Scottsdale. Our location is prime for us. It's
Sure.
real easy.
So if somebody wanted to learn more and get a hold of you, how would they go about doing that?
They can give me a call at the office, and I would love to sit down and visit with them as to what we have to offer them, whether they're an experienced agent, whether they're a brand new agent. We have a spot that can fit anybody. I have a great staff. There's 7 in my staff. And so it's just, we have a lot of opportunities to be able to offer anyone in their real estate career, how new or experienced that they are.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode of Real Estate Pros Koena, and we will see you guys on the next episode.